This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. We are going to proceed with our regular council meeting. Just a quick introduction with council as we're still doing it online. We have with us Councillor Ron Mamchuk.
Good morning, everybody.
Councillor Janine Boulanger.
Good morning.
Councillor Shane Pelletier.
Good morning.
Councillor Curtis Clayton.
Morning, everyone.
Our CEO, Mitch Duval.
Good morning and happy Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, that's right. And with us, we have in the background Assistant CEO Dominic Lemoine.
Good morning.
And myself, Chris Ewan. So the way we proceed is we will be doing it online. It's live recorded, and council will be casting their vote by their software system, so there won't be a raise of hands or a call for the question verbally. So we will begin with item 1, meeting call to order. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Pelletier.
Thank you. Questions? Cast your vote, please.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. We'll open the meeting at 9:04 a.m. Item 2, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Blanchet.
Thank you. I just want to make a quick adjustment and bring in the delegations first, as we have the RCMP with us, and I'm sure he's very busy. So if council's okay with pushing him right to the front.
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay, then other than that, please cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you very much. Moving up to 5.1, RCMP Sergeant Laundreville.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, right from the start, as you know, with the COVID epidemic, what's gone on top of our regular duties, or what they've thrown on top of us, as what we have to do day by day is COVID checks. So in other words, get investigations that are sent to us by our dispatch. The members have to go to the vehicle, obviously their vehicles, and go to the residences, and to check the people that are there to make sure they're compliant with the COVID regulations, check their ID, and then we have a bunch of forms to fill out and send out to the different health departments. Since the beginning, since COVID started, this adds extra work to us to the tune of just about 100 extra investigations that are thrown our way. So it's not an easy thing. Like if it was just a phone call and then we're done and check one box and send it, it would be over. But it's actual patrol to the residents. It could be half an hour, 40 minutes to get to the residents, come back, and then they'll fill out there's 4 forms that have to be filled out and sent electronically. So there's more work to be done with us and with less right now. Looking at my HR, it's looking good right now. I'm up as compared to where I was last time. So I'm only down maybe 1, actually 2 right now, one on a maternity leave and the other one on light duties. So right now everything is better than it was when I talked to you guys last as far as HR is concerned. And there is a lot of movement. I've got a couple of members transferring out and some coming in. So right now things are stabilizing that way, which is good. The only thing I can see as far as data that's a little alarming, a lot alarming, is the property crime that's gone up 64% in the RM average over last year. You can see where it says crime against property on line 18 of your report compared to last year. We had last year reported 9, and then this year reported 25, so the variation is 16. That's huge. Mischief is big as well. Break and enter is about the same. So these would be the thefts, let's say thefts out of vehicles or things that don't qualify as a break and enter. For a break and enter, it has to be a place, like a residence or business. So if it's like a shed or something like that, it doesn't qualify for break and enter. It's just called Everything else is, crime against persons have gone up as well. And everything else is down. COVID is a priority right now until things can stabilize. This is where the RCMP is telling us to prioritize our efforts right at this point and to get compliance to 100%. So far, it has been almost 100%. We haven't had too many people that are not home when we call, so that's good. And that's pretty much it on my front anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Sergeant. I'm just going to let council ask any questions or any discussion that they have. But first, I've noticed a trend speaking with the business community that these mischiefs or break-ins, I actually think we just had a break-in in Ile-des-Chênes. I think it was last Thursday, on apparently 15 to 25 vehicles were rummaged through at the same time. So we know it's cyclical, but they're finding this business community is finding it happening between that 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Time frame. I'm wondering, if there's anything the RCMP can do with putting a driver or a police officer driving around during that time, or how you guys route yourselves and figure out how you're going to go about monitoring that time frame. I know it's pretty common that it happens like that everywhere, but is there any efforts to maybe increase the patrol during that time frame?
Yeah, we've studied that quite a bit. We know that random patrols are ineffective. We've many studies done on that, and simply saying let's put more cars out there, patrol more, has little or no effect. What we like is well-lit areas with cameras, with signs that say you're being recorded. That has better effects than patrols by us. We do have members on until the wee hours of the morning. I'm not going to say till when, but not that the trust isn't there, but
yeah, no, I get it.
So anyway, they are out there, but many studies that I've seen and I've studied myself, that the simple process of just a patrol won't do anything. Even if we increase it by 200%, there won't be any results. I can guarantee you that. So the answer is more of a community answer. I like what Niverville has done with cameras. They've had over 30 to 35 cameras all over the place. That's helped us actually solve a lot of crime. Solved hit and runs, and we solved also some mischiefs and a couple of deaths. Just with the power that has during a warrant statement interview and confront the suspect with his picture. And there's not much they can say after that. So I'm finding that's our best avenue right now. And advertise it and have a lot of signs that say you're being recorded. And I'm actually working with one right now at the landfill. I talked to Steve yesterday. So the person there didn't actually steal anything or break anything, but just trespassing there about 11 o'clock at night. So we have an idea who it is. We had a nice shot of his face. So we'll follow that up with an interview. So that, to me, is the best weapon right now.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think maybe that's something we as council need to promote, is community awareness. Maybe there's some more lighting things. My biggest case is, I'm sure you're familiar with it, is the Adventure Power Products in Ile-des-Chênes, and I don't want to specify one business, but they've gotten broken into 5 times in 2020. So it's just, and that's a decently lit area. It's right by the gas station. So I mean, there's community members usually around, but it just seems, and I don't know the specifics on their end, but it just seems that it's always happening at this certain time, and I just don't know how else they can prevent it, or how we as a council or the RCMP can help a situation out like that. Like, to see a business getting broken into 5 times, if I were them, I'd be closing up shop and moving. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, they can hire private security as well. We've had, I know in Alberta, a lot of oil, I know they're bigger businesses, but a lot of oil projects had private security just for that reason. One guy in a car all night, hired to be there from 11 at night till 7 in the morning type of thing. And that deters everything, because the guy's there very visible. His lights are on, the car is going. He's got his little security light. He's got his flashlight. Sometimes they have dogs with them as well. I think that can be looked at.
Okay. Any other comments from council?
Yeah, I have a quick one, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for starters, I just want to thank Sergeant Manderville for being with us today. Just to keep up the good work. We appreciate that. Just with respect to the community of Sienna Gap, there's an individual that would like to spearhead a community committee or community group. Something similar. I know in the past there was Citizens on Patrol, and I'm just wondering how helpful is that? And, is there any community outreach available that start up something like that in the community?
I couldn't understand that. Did anybody tell me?
Yeah, you're chopping out, Councillor Clayton. Sorry.
Oh, I apologize. I've got the whole family on virtual meetings this morning. I'll be brief. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything available like Citizens on Patrol, where the community of Sienna Gap could start up a community group?
Yeah, we do have. I've got resources for that. I've got a couple of my members here that have started. Now, what I do is I encourage the community to come to us and say, okay, we want to start this. How can you guys help us? And we'll help you. And we'll show you, we can train the people and tell them exactly what we're looking for, what we want, and what we don't want. But I think instead of me forcing citizens there to do that, it's better for them to come to me and say, okay, we're the community. We've had enough. Now we want to do this. And we've had a lot of success with that as well. We have no problems being your liaison for that. Absolutely no problems at all.
That's great. So would we reach out to you directly?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, send me an email, and I'll put one of my guys on it that's trained, and we can train people. No problem at all.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
Perfect. Anything else from council?
Yeah, I had a question regarding speeding. We've recently reduced some speed zones in our RM, and in particular, the one I'm talking about is on Burnett. We've reduced it from 80 to 60. And we've gotten a couple of calls and emails regarding that there was no warning time or anything like that. Yes, people are speeding. They're going above the posted 60 sign. But I was just wondering, do you guys maybe take a look at the new reduced speed zones and give people warnings, or just to alert them, or some kind of before they get ticketed type of thing for speeding in there? I just wanted to know if you have a kind of a protocol for that.
Not necessarily. No, we'll leave that up again to the people that are making the changes. It's totally up to you guys. Sometimes we might do that, but for the most part, no. We'll just sit there and enforce it. And it seems to, like, I get a lot of that now. Maybe I'm just old, but I'm stopping vehicles and especially with younger people and telling me, well, where's my warning? Like, you guys have to warn me. It's almost, it's almost out there where people think that they're entitled to a warning before they get charged in criminal court as well. So then, yeah, well, that's my first break and enter. You guys have to warn me. So we're trying to, I'm trying to stay away from that, because then all of a sudden we've got a precedent that we're going to set, and people will say, well, you got to warn me, and we turn into the warning police. So
yeah, no, I totally get that. I think the one that I heard about was literally the day after the signs went up, and people are just used to doing 80, and then they don't even realize that it's a 60 zone, so
right.
they're a little taken off guard,
Yeah, sometimes they'll put a sign like it's a different color with lights on it, and I've seen that with, like, especially with lights, like with a red light. If there's a new red light somewhere, they'll say new camera, and it's flashing. It's orange and yellow, and it's got all kind of bright lights. If you look right at it, it'd probably take the retina out of your skull. But even with that, a lot of people still say, "Oh, I didn't see it. I've been going through here for 20 years." So, I mean, it's totally up to you how you guys want to set it up. You can do, you can do the newspaper as well, and a lot of bright signage and lights and things like that. It's expensive, but in the long run, it might be worth it. And you might run that for a few months. And with the signs as well that you can get that show your speed that lights up.
Yeah, we're getting those as well. So
That's perfect. That works really well. And you can advertise and say, listen, we're gonna warn people here for 2 months, and then starting, I don't know, April 1st, it's go time. So, and then we can help you with go time. Sometimes
So
that's right.
we could set that up with you then. We'll say, okay, give us till April before you ticket anybody on a certain road or something.
Yeah, and then send me another email on that. And then what I do with the emails is I create files and I sign them, and then my members are assigned the file, and then on go day, then they can sit there and yeah, and so write
Okay.
tickets.
Perfect, thank you.
No problem.
Perfect. Anything else from council?
Nope, that's it.
No, I appreciate the delegation as always, Sergeant. I know you have a busy routine today, fixing crime solutions. So good luck and have fun. And again, we'll talk in probably the next quarter.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving back to item 3, adoption of minutes. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Blanger?
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Pelletier.
Thank you. Any or go ahead, Mr. Seal. Sorry.
The last meeting was held on January 20th of 2021. We had one variation, one conditional use, one subdivision. We discussed the building permits that ended for December of 2020. We also looked at the compensation review, the upcoming census in 2021, as well as the utility rate study. That is ongoing. I've reached out to Way to Go Consulting, so they're taking that under their wings right now. Council also passed a resolution for the disbursement of funds between Mid-Canada, GFL, and the municipality. Also, a electric charging station project with EcoWest was approved by council. You'll see one of the invoices in our batches of finances to be approved. And also, we passed a resolution to appoint our new youth council rep on board, Brina. So nothing else to report on that.
Perfect. Any comments or changes from council? No, cast your vote.
Sorry, Mitch, I clicked in the wrong,
You still,
wrong mode.
okay, and you're in favor? Okay, so the vote
It's in there now.
carried 5-0.
Thank you. 4.1 accounts paid to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk,
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you.
Of the batch of the $36,000, there was an invoice to KGS for the boat launch project in St. Agatha. Other than that, nothing else to report.
Thank you. Any questions from council?
None here.
Seeing none, cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Item 4.2, accounts not paid to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Pelletier.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Blanger?
Thank you.
Batch 14618, total of 275,000 plus. The CFO put his report a little bit on the late side, but that's okay. You all have a copy of it as of yesterday. So in there's some BDO expenses, some COVID relief funding, as well as some repairs being done to this St. Adolphe Fire Hall. Also the GPHA progress payment to be done, as well as some jackets that were bought from the fire department, and the EcoWest of 30,000. Basically all adds up and nothing else other than those big ticket items to report on.
Any questions or comments from council? No,
None.
seeing none. Please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Item 4.2.1, council indemnities. Do I have a mover?
Counselor Mamchuk,
Thank you. Second, I think it was Councillor Clayton.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, basically not much to report here. Hours that have been submitted range between 16 to 28, so very reasonable in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. Any questions from council? Oh, cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. 4.3, payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Belanger.
Thank you. Second.
Counselor Mamchuk,
Thank you.
This is for payroll number 2, which is from January 3rd to January 16th of 2021. You will notice that administration has a little bit of bank time, more than likely because of year-end stuff, rollovers, etc. In regards to public works, not much bank time there. Been very quiet, good weather, etc., etc. So other than that, nothing else to report.
Perfect. Any questions or comments from council?
no.
Seeing none, cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Items 6.1.1, tax sale date. Do I have a mover?
Counselor Mamchuk,
Thank you. Second by Councillor Clayton, I heard.
Okay, this is regards to moving ahead with the tax sale process. We do so every year just to stay on top of the tax collection. Recommendation again will be to move ahead with tax service for our collection. We've done a fantastic job over the years, but this resolution is to designate the year. So by doing so, we are designating 2020 as the taxation year, but that means that all properties with outstanding taxes from 2019 and prior will be on the docket to be collected. As at the same time, council will then be setting a tax sale date if those sums are not collected by October 20th of 2021. They will be going to tax sale auction at 9 o'clock that same day.
Thank you, Mr. Seal. Any comments or questions from council?
not here.
None here.
Thank you. Just a quick question, Mr. Seal. If COVID or the pandemic is still in place, we can always adjust this to a later date if need be.
Correct. Similar to what we went through in 2020, it was recommended by the province to suspend auction dates if you had it set in motion. So far this year, everything has gone back on and is running as normal as we can be. So I'm hoping that we will not have any postponements and move ahead with an October 20th tax sale date.
Okay, no, that's just wanted to make sure that's how it works. Perfect, thank you. Council, cast your vote.
Vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Item 6.1.2, waiving utility fees due to COVID-19. Do I have a mover?
Counselor Mamchuk,
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Pelletier.
Thank you.
As we are still in the pandemic stages, even though the rollout of the vaccine is slowly underway, it is my recommendation that for the next 90 days that we waive any interest charges on the utility fees moving forward. and to be reevaluated pretty much every quarter as we have been doing in the past.
Perfect, thank you. Any comments or questions from council?
Not here.
No. Okay, council, cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you. Item 9, adjournment. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Blanchet.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Clay.
Thank you very much. Any closing comments? Seeing none, cast your vote.
The vote is carried 5-0.
Thank you very much. We'll close the meeting at 9:29 a.m. Thank you, everyone. Dominic, you can press stop.